Hey Wizard, welcome to the members area of Crypto Wizards. I'm really excited to have you guys here. I've already been exchanging emails with you, and the most common email I've been getting is, Sean, please can you do a tutorial video actually explaining how this works? So the order of sequence to do this is I'm actually going to place a trade. Right now I'm going to place a trade, then I'm going to talk about how I placed that trade, how I knew it was the right trade, etc. I'm only going to do this with a tiny little bit of money because I don't want to trade the opportunities that you are paying for. So I want to make sure that this is fair. So I'm not going to be placing any trades on Crypto Wizards. This is what you pay for, so you should get all the trades. So right now I've got Ethereum and I'm going to convert this to MKR, and this is on a particular exchange. So I'm just going to hit next. And don't worry, you don't know what's going on right now, and that's absolutely fine. Let me just put in the password. It's absolutely fine that you don't know what's going on. I'm going to explain everything as soon as this trade has finished. And the reason why I need to, and I'm actually going to check this on Etherscan. The reason why I want to make sure that I place the trade now is because if I do the tutorial and then try to place the trade, the opportunity could have gone. So I'm trading the opportunity and then I'm going to explain why and how I traded that opportunity. But I've got a little bit of time here because this transaction is pending. So essentially what I've done right now, let me just grab a pen tool and we'll draw a little bit on the screen. Essentially what I've done right now is I've gone to a particular crypto exchange. And what I've done is I've converted Ethereum to a different coin, which is actually called MKR. MKR is the maker coin and it's built on Ethereum. So that's what I've just done now. Now good, that transaction has actually gone through. So what I need to do is I need to go back to the exchange. I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, so it just took about 3 minutes and I've just seen MKR appear here. So you can now see I've got the MKR money over here. So what I want to do is I want to get MKR over to this exchange. Let me just get rid of the pen tool for a second. I want to get it over to hit BTC because this is where the other side of the trade is. And what I want to do is take the MKR I just bought. So right now I've got 0.2343 MKR. So 0.2343 MKR. And that's going to give me about 1.036 or 1.04 Ethereum. So that's a 4%, a 3 to 4% arbitrage right there. So again, I'm trading one of the lighter arbitrage opportunities. And to be fair, you probably could have traded this with a lot more size, but it doesn't matter. For the purposes of this tutorial, it's fine. But I need to get MKR onto this exchange. So what I need to actually go and do is go and actually deposit MKR here. So I've just gone over to the account and what I'm going to do is hit MKR and I'm going to hit deposit. And that's given me an address. So this is where I can transfer the MKR to. So I'm going to copy that address. I'm going to go back to this exchange over here. I'm going to go to MKR. I'm going to click on it over here. And I'm going to click on send. And it's going to say, how much MKR do I want to send? Well, I want to send all of it. And I want to send it to this address. And so all I'm going to do is just go and hit send. All right, I actually increased the transaction fee on the gas to make sure that this transfer is quicker because it was just spinning for too long. And with arbitrage, you kind of need it to go through. So I did that. I'm going to punch in my password and I'm going to hit transfer. Cool. View your transaction on Etherscan. Now I'm purposefully doing an Ethereum-based transfer over here, and I'm going to talk about that in this tutorial. I'm going to talk about why I'm using Ethereum, and as soon as this show's completed, we should be in a good position, or relatively soon after that, we should be in a good position to go and place the other side of our trade, because we've just given our deposit address over here for Maker. The transfer is now going through. We can see that on Etherscan. Success. It says it's gone through. I'm going to refresh this page. It probably won't show yet, but let me just hit refresh. Okay, so I've just refreshed the page and we can see 0.23436, etc. maker here. Now I just need to transfer this into the exchange. Some exchanges are different, like now it's in the wallet, but we need to get it actually in the exchange. So we want to put it in the trading account so that we can trade it. So I'm just going to transfer all of that. So just transfer to the trading account. So now you can see that's all gone across or pretty much all of it's gone across into the trading account. And now what we want to do is go over to the exchange. So I'm going to click on exchange over here, and different exchanges work differently. Now I've already found Ethereum, and if you want to know how I got there, I just put in maker up here, click on that, and now I've got the order book up here. Now this is very important. Most often exchanges are going to be defaulted to limit. You do not want that. You want a market order. And so I just click on maker here, and it says, okay, let's transfer now. Because this has taken some time to do this video as well, and I've been talking a lot, let me just hit sell market and I'll explain what happened. But you'll see that the Ethereum I'm going to get is 1.0241. So I'm just going to hit sell market, and it says your sell market order was placed. So now I need to go to account. I'm going to actually open that in a new screen, and I'm going to put MKR in here. I'm going to put Ethereum in here. And you can now see I've got 1.022 Ethereum in my account. So I've just done that transfer. Obviously, it took a little bit of a transaction fee from that. So if you remember to the start of this video, I used 1 Ethereum. So I started with 1 Ethereum. That's what we started with. And we now have 1.022 Ethereum. And if I calculate what that is, this is after transaction fees and everything. That is an increase of 2.2%. So I've just made 2.2% without speculating at all on price or anything like that. And frankly, I've made that with only 1 Ethereum. So I could have used more depth and I would have got a lot more value for my money, a lot more bang for my buck. But I don't want to go trading. I don't want to go trading all the opportunities anyway. So this is just to show you how this works. So this is a really good demonstration. So this is 2.2% profit. This is absolute profit after fees and everything. Really, really straightforward. Just a nice little trade over there. And frankly, in any trade, if you make money, if you make profit, you should be happy about that. So really cool little trade over there. Now, if I want to get this back into the main account and withdraw my money and transfer Ethereum to US dollar Tether, etc., you can do all that. But I just wanted to show you how to get this far, how to get 1 Ethereum and turn it into profit. And it doesn't have to be Ethereum. There are plenty of other coins, etc., that you can transfer. Now, what I want to do is I want to come away from this trade for a second, and I want to come over to the arbitrage platform here at Crypto Wizards. And I want to talk about what opportunities are available and what are the steps you need to go through to do what I just did. So for a lot of you, this will be really new. And if you're feeling like totally overwhelmed, you don't know what has just happened, don't sweat it, because I'm going to take you through it step by step now. You're going to understand exactly everything that just happened with this trade. And we're going to start with my favorite thing, which is an online whiteboard. Never leave home without it. So what I want to do is just talk through, what is the checklist that you need to follow when doing an arbitrage trade? Because a lot of people say, hey, there's no risk in arbitrage, and that is a total lie. Anytime you are transacting money in the markets, there is some level of risk. There's going to be some level of risk, and it might not be speculation because you're not speculating here, but there are all sorts of other areas of risk. So let's first talk about the name of the game with arbitrage. So I've just made some space over here. What are we trying to do? What just happened over there? Well, we're trying to make a profit by not speculating on the direction of a price. So normally in the markets, you'll have people that say, okay, I want to bet that this is going to go up, so I'm going to buy the stock or buy the coin, and if it goes up, they make profit. If it goes down, they lose money. That's speculation. We're not trying to do that. We want to make money here no matter what happens. We just see basically mispricing in the market, and we take advantage of that. So that's what arbitrage is. You're not speculating on price. It really doesn't matter. You can just buy here, sell there for more money and make a profit. And what do I mean by that? So let's say we've got 2 exchanges over here. And an exchange is just a place where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency. Just like there are stock market exchanges. There is the post office where you can buy currency. There is all sorts of different exchanges in the world. We're talking about cryptocurrency. So this is exchange A and this is exchange B. And what we're trying to do over here is we're trying to buy a coin. So we want to take, let's say we have Ethereum, and we want to buy a coin that's going to be a vehicle for us to get back to Ethereum, but we want more Ethereum here. We want more Ethereum here. So I'm going to put a plus sign over there than we started with here. That's what we want. And so we need a vehicle to do that. And so what we do is we take Ethereum or any coin, and I'm going to talk more about that in this video, and we transfer it. So we take the Ethereum and we transfer it into coin. In this example, it was MKR. And so what we did is we transferred Ethereum to MKR. We transferred MKR back to this exchange over here. And then we converted it back to Ethereum. And we saw that when we did that, we made a 2.2% profit, which is really rad. That's awesome. So I just showed you the trade, and I was also having breakfast while doing the trade. I was having to pause the video, etc. while doing the trade, but I just showed you the trade. So it's all utterly confusing. And if you just went and just did this blindly, you're going to lose money. So it's really important that you pay attention to this checklist that I'm going to take you through right here, right now. So let's talk about the Arb checklist. And so how should you think about, I'm going to use the color blue. I don't know why, I just like that color. So how should you think about this checklist over here? How should you think about doing an arbitrage trade? Well, the first thing you want to do is check that you can transfer this coin. And so what does that mean? That means, number one, what you want to do is make sure that just because the coin has the same symbol on each exchange, let's go back here a second, just because this says MKR doesn't mean that this exchange thinks MKR is the same coin. So you want to make sure it's the same thing. And the best way to do that is just to Google MKR and make sure the description of that coin is the same on both exchanges. That is not some other coin entirely. Now, the good news is I've done most of that for you already. So here with the Crypto Wizards platform, we actually hired a team of people who went through the exchanges and checked all of this. And I myself had to go through literally thousands of coins checking this. So this should really be done for you already, but you need to make sure, you need to check. This is on you. If you guys lose money doing arbitrage trading, you cannot come back to me and cry about it, which I know you won't. But it's very important that you do the checks. And once you've been working with enough coins and exchanges, you get to learn and know the coins. So, this becomes easier over time. But when you're new, I want to be very strict with you on this. If you're new watching this, make absolute sure that you check that that coin is transferable, number one, and that it's the same coin. So you've checked it's the same coin. What did I just mean by transferable? You need to go to the wallet. So for example, you need to go to the wallet and you need to click withdraw. And you need to make sure that it's not giving you any kind of errors or anything like this. So what do I mean by wallet? Wallet is the account. It's where all the balances of the crypto you own are stored. Now, this video can't be an introduction to cryptocurrency and wallets, etc. If you need that, please ask for it and I will put it on the YouTube channel. I've also taught on Udemy. There's a course there, I can put a link to it, just ask for it, where I've taught over 5,000 students on cryptocurrency for beginners. So just ask for that. I'll give you the link. It's free. You can go through all the training. But this is essentially what you want to check. You want to check that you will be able to take money out of this exchange. And on the other exchange, you want to check the deposit side because you're going to be depositing money in or crypto in. So you want to check that it's actually going to let you deposit. It's going to give you an address. So it's really important that you do that you go through that checklist and that you go and make sure that that transfer is good. And once that is good, you can move over to the next step. Okay, so what about this next bit? What do I mean by check that the value is good? So what I mean by that is you need to go and make sure that the value that you are trading is still going to be profitable. Just because the Crypto Wizards tool, and I'm going to go into this, just because the Crypto Wizards tool is showing opportunities of 5, 10, 50, 100%, you want to make absolute sure that you're going to make a profit if you do this trade. And the way that you actually go and do that is by pretend trading it on both exchanges. Do not skip this step. It's fundamentally vital. So the way to do that is to go over to the actual exchange. So here I've just gone over to this exchange and I want to go to convert, because that's how I do it on this exchange. You click on convert and you convert the amount of Ethereum you have. So I go, okay, I've got 1 Ethereum, or I've got 5 Ethereum, or I've got 11 orange monkeys. It doesn't really matter. And it tells me, okay, if I'm going to convert it from this coin to this coin, and now I'm using EOS as the coin for no reason. Let's just go and use, let's use Maker. So 1 Ethereum is going to give me 0.2292 MKR. So what I want to do is take that MKR, because I'm buying Ethereum over here, and I want to go over to this address over here, because now I'm going to be selling MKR, and I want to check, okay, if I put that amount in, do I make more than 1 Ethereum? And do I cover transaction fees, which you can work out? Like what I do is I just look for percentages over 5. And I know if they're over 5%, typically I'm going to be able to cover the transaction fee. So this is telling me that I'm just about scraping by, and I probably won't be able to cover that fee. Now, the reason for that is because I just traded this. Sorry, guys. I just took this opportunity away. I've literally just traded this. So that's why there's no more opportunity. But this is what would tell me. And then I go into a spreadsheet just like this. I put in what I start with, what I end with, how much actual profit is that going to give me. So now I'm ready. Now, of course, I'm explaining this, so this is taking a bit of time, but this doesn't need to take you more than 5 minutes. Like, don't spend more than 5 minutes checking this. And if you're doing the smart contract arbitrage, which is what I'm going to talk about in this video, if you're doing the smart contract arbitrage, then this should be a lot quicker, because you're really only using 2, maybe 3 max exchanges. So you should have those exchanges open. You should be able to get to coin really quickly. Within 30 seconds, you should know whether this is a good opportunity. So let's go back here. So we've checked the value is good. We're going to pretend like that was a good trade. You want to get the deposit and the withdrawal ready. You want to get the accounts open so you have those addresses. What do I mean by that? So over here, I have the deposit address over here for where I want to transfer the coin. I have it open. I have it ready so that when I go to the initial exchange and I want to transfer it in, I can just copy that address. So the withdrawal address, you don't really need that yet. That's going to be for when you've bought the coin. So that's going to be basically here. That's going to be when you've bought this coin and you need to withdraw it. So here is where you're withdrawing the coin, over here. This is where you're withdrawing the coin. And that's a withdrawal. And this is a deposit. So you want to, this is your deposit address. This is the exchange you're transferring to. This is your withdrawal address. This is where you are literally transferring it from. So I know for a lot of you watching this, you're like, come on, get on with it. But for the people who are new to this, it's really, really important that you follow that. And so this is what you want to do. You want to check that and make sure it's good. So good, we've checked that, we've got the addresses and we're ready to go. You want to check the exchange depth. So just because I did this with 1 Ethereum, and by the way, this is the same as check if the value is good. This is pretty much the same thing. This is where you get to play with the numbers. So I could have gone here and actually said, no, how much could I transfer? You know, how much Ethereum will I get if I had, 1 MKR, 1 Maker coin? And or how much, if I go back to this exchange, how much would 5 Ethereum have got me? And if I take that 1.35 and I come back here, okay, that would have got me 4.98. Okay, so there's not enough depth here. Now I'm at a loss because I'm going from 5 Ethereum to 4.98 Ethereum. But that said, what the Crypto Wizards platform is doing is it's only checking the depth on $100 just to make sure this is a legit trade, that this is something worth your time. So the reality is for a lot of the trades, they could be $1,000 ARBs, they could be $8,000 ARBs, they could be massive. And some of them truthfully are massive. So, you want to check, right, how much money can I actually trade here because I want to make profit? Now, my advice to you on this is don't go all in. Don't go all in with $1,000. Like first make sure that 1 Ethereum is working for you before you go and transfer another, 8 Ethereum or 5 Ethereum or whatever. Make sure the trade goes through with a small amount before you do it with a large amount. Again, I know I'm being super cautious here, but I genuinely care and want to make sure that you stay profitable, that you don't do something dumb that's going to lose you money. And I only know because I've made these mistakes. So I want to make sure that I really get this point across. Be very careful. There is risk. And we're going to talk about the risks in a second. So you check that order book depth, all good. And then you execute. This is, the funny thing is, a lot of people, they get this far, but they never do this. They never do this last part. And I just want to say something just generally in trading right now, just a general point. Be prepared to lose money, no matter what you're doing in trading. This is how you learn and this is how you get good. I do not believe in paper trading, pretend trading. Technically, you've already done pretend trading here. You've done it. But you wanting to make extra money is only going to happen if you do this last step. You have to execute. So you actually go and do the trade. Now, in arbitrage, you could see, like, I had to keep pausing the video because I had to wait. I had to see things go through. I had to check Etherscan. This is actually where you become good at arbitrage. Arbitrage is not really about how good you are at researching or having the best tool. And by the way, I know I believe in this tool far more than anything else in the market because I've seen the other tools in the market. I know here you've got the best information. So to become the best arbitrage trader, it's really about how good are you at getting prepared and getting ready. You know, there's a saying that says, if you have 9 hours to chop down a tree, spend the first 7 sharpening your axe. And that's what you want to do here. You want to get the preparation, everything aligned, ready to execute. And I can guarantee you it will frustrate you at times. You will be on an exchange and you'll just see, like I had to deal with this morning while I'm having breakfast, watching it. You're going to see the little wheel going round and round and you're going to be like, come on, like seriously, just hurry up because I want to eat my breakfast and I want to make some money. So, you know, you need to make sure, and for you guys starting out, it's going to be nerve-wracking. You're going to be hoping this is going to go through. Just get used to that. Just get used to that. And so once you execute, there you go. You make some money. I mean, we made 2.2% this morning whilst having breakfast. And I literally just switched this on. I picked a random trade on Crypto Wizards and I went and traded it. Now let's talk about the risks because I want to talk about what can go wrong. You need to be hyper aware of what can go wrong. Now, here's a no-brainer example of what can go wrong. I've gone to Exchange A, I've bought the coin, and I'm transferring it to Exchange B. And whilst that transfer is going through, the market moves here on Exchange B. And so when the coin gets here, I'm like, oh man, I just missed the opportunity. That can happen. That can happen. Now, the good news is, and this is why I love manual arbitrage, and especially the smart contract arbitrage, because this is where no one else is really looking. What you want to do is, number one, you want to savvy check this. You can check that is the coin where you're buying it underpriced. And if that's the case, your risk is dramatically lower. And you can check that by comparing it to prices on other exchanges. That's one way to check that. But is it way underpriced? Because you know if you're buying it cheap, even if the coin just moves on this same exchange over here, then you're going to make money. So, you know, are you buying it cheap? Because then the reality is it's probably not going to move over here and you're going to be able to sell it for a profit. But, you know, conversely, if the coin here is where it's overpriced, which is why you're going to make money, you're buying here, but then you've got time against you because someone else could actually trade that or whatever in the time that it takes to transfer, your risk is greater. So you want to think about it like that. I mean, truthfully, I don't pay too much attention to this, but if there is a phenomenally good opportunity, I'm always skeptical. So really, you know, when I'm looking at arbitrage, you're wanting to look anywhere between, you know, 5%, 15%, 25% max. The likelihood is that the market's not going to move against you very quickly. This risk is going to be lower. So this is really fundamentally the main risk. And there always are going to be other risks like, does that exchange actually then accept the deposit or does something go wrong, etc. That can happen. It can happen. And this is again why I want to talk about the platform and smart contract arbitrage. And we're going to do that right now. Okay, so now let's take a look at the dashboard. So the first thing you're going to see here is a whole bunch of numbers. There are a whole bunch of numbers over here. So the first thing is 60, this number 60, what does this represent? This is an approximation of how many arbitrage opportunities are tradable right now. So if I click on that number 60, I'm going to come through to the XScan page. XScan stands for Exchange Transfer Arbitrage. And you'll see there's a whole variety of exchanges here, all sorts of different exchanges. And this is really where you need to be the most careful. And you can see over here, you can easily sort columns. You can filter on columns. I like to just sort by this real rate. And I'll put a link to the video that I posted yesterday, which talked about the difference between the surface rate and the real rate. The real rate is the real rate. This is where we've tested with $100 to make sure this is a real arbitrage opportunity. That's what this does. And you're going to notice a few things. You're going to notice, first of all, that there is an ask and a bid exchange. Now, remember, when you're buying a cryptocurrency, and I'm just going to bring up the pen tool here a second, as you guys know how much I love this tool. So when you are buying a cryptocurrency, you are buying it at the ask. The ask is the higher price, so if you look at your order book, you've got your asks and you've got your bids. And when you're coming in as a new trader and placing a market order, you have to buy at the ask and you have to sell at the bid, meaning that if you bought and sold on the same exchange instantly on a market order, you're going to lose the spread, you're going to lose money. But what arbitrage is doing is it's checking the bid on another exchange and it's saying, hey, the bid here is actually higher up than this ask. So what it's doing is it's saying, okay, cool, the ask is over here and the bid is actually up here on this exchange. And there's this small little incremental price difference where I can buy instantly here and sell instantly here. And I'm going to make a profit. That's what this is. So the ask exchange is where you will be buying the coin. The bid exchange is where you are going to be selling the coin. So the minute you see this opportunity, you want to open up these two exchanges and you want to go through the checklist. You want to go through all the things we have already spoken about. You want to make sure that you hit this checklist. And so that's what those two areas are doing. This is telling you what coin it is. So it's AST. So when you get on that exchange, it's the AST coin. And the coin that you're transferring from and to is Ethereum. And the base coin is always going to be Ethereum, Bitcoin, or US dollar Tether. These are the main bases of coins that this scanner operates on and checks. Yeah. The timestamp is when this is the exact moment in time. I think it's CET, I forget now, but it's the exact moment in time. And this updates every 5 minutes. So it's the exact moment in time that opportunity was shown. And you need to refresh to update. And the reason I've built it like that is so that if you have to have this open because you're doing all sorts of checks, you don't want this refreshing automatically. You'll notice there are no links here other than this one, which we're going to talk about. The reason for that is this needs to be manual. That's why it works. I can't tell you how many guys from the channel have been writing to me trying to automate arbitrage. It's great, and I love you guys, and I want to help you, and I want you to win. It's dangerous. So this is where you are fully in control. So you go and you log onto those exchanges and you do the checks that we spoke about over here. So this is the price. This is looking at the ask price and the bid price and telling you how it got to this surface rate. Now, this is the rate before going into the order book depth. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you think about your asks again, so we've got our asks over here at all these different prices, and we've got our bids over here at all these different prices. What the surface rate is doing is it's comparing the closest prices, that one and that one. And for example, this opportunity is saying, there's a 7,000% opportunity here, which I doubt there is. And when you actually go and trade it with $100, it turns out there's a 579% opportunity. And so the difference between this, which is that, and this is very simply, I'm actually going to just take a different color here, is that this takes $100 and eats into as much of this as possible. And it eats into as much of this as possible. And it says, okay, well, actually the real rate is that. Once you start trading with actual real money, that's the real rate you should expect back. And it uses US dollars because everyone understands the value of 100 US dollars. It's actually using US dollar Tether, but same thing really. So that's how that's working. That's what that's doing right over there. So Smart Scan. Now, triangular arbitrage, I've done a lot of videos on the Crypto Wizards YouTube channel. So if you want me to post those in here somewhere, just send an email and say, yeah, cool, could you put in a playlist of the triangular arbitrage so that you don't have to go looking for them. But there are playlists there on the Crypto Wizards channel. And this is really only helpful for people that want to build bots. So if you're interested in building a bot that automatically trades for you, and I'm going to talk about this more on the channel, but when you're building that bot, you want to make sure that any exchange you're using typically has arbitrage opportunities. So I just did a search on Binance, for example, and you can pick any exchange you want, on how many arbitrage opportunities there are with a certain threshold. So this is 0.5% threshold, and I put in 0.02 or whatever. And it returned some opportunities and then actually traded them with money and found out that they make a loss. So, this is really interesting, but the point of using this is to find an exchange that shows a lot of opportunities at a low level and then build a bot for that exchange, because more often than not, you're going to see opportunities pop up. So for example, let's hit, I don't know, something like hit BTC. And I'm going to put in 0.02, no reason for that. That's how I've been testing this tool. And so what it's doing is it's doing triangular arbitrage. So it's actually buying and selling a whole bunch of coins. So we'll take a look at this in a sec. But imagine a triangle. So it's buying coin here, A, to coin B, and going back to coin C and transferring back to coin A at a profit. And the nice thing about triangular arbitrage is it only occurs, you only need one exchange. And it can be instant, boom, 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 done. Like those transfers went through. So the nice thing about this is, and I'm actually thinking of building one, but you can actually build a bot that spots opportunities and trades them. Now look at how many are on hit BTC. If I was to build a triangular arbitrage tool right now, I would build it on hit BTC without a doubt. Because the way that this tool is working, what it's doing is it's actually like, oh man, I love this. What it's doing is it's actually showing you the trades. So trade 1, so sell BTC for US dollar tether. Trade 2, sell US dollar tether for UTK. Trade 3, sell UTK back for BTC. So do you see here how we started with BTC and we ended with BTC? So now if I look down here at this green one, which is also a BTC example, start with BTC, end with BTC, I would actually have made 0.15%. And if I had a bot trading that, that would have been automatic. And it also tells you the best amount to trade to get that return. So I can actually get 0.15% on $4,000. Like it's literally looped through a US dollar investment. So this is best investment. With $50, I lose money. $50, I lose money. $50, I lose money. $4,000, I make 0.15%. On hit BTC, like literally right now. Literally right now, this will make money. Cool. So that's the triangular arbitrage tool. And this is going to be really, really useful for traders out there. And also the other way you can use this tool is for trading. So if you go onto the hit BTC, for example, platform, you can tell, okay, something here is wrong. You can compare XEM, for example, to other exchanges and work out, wait a minute, is this coin underpriced here? And should I buy it and wait for it to actually go back into parity with the other exchanges? So you can actually just use this as an indicator as to which coin potentially is under or overpriced, because we know it's not going to be BTC, because if it was BTC, these would all be green. We know that it's going to be XEM. So this shows me that there's an opportunity right now with XEM. Can you see, can you see how much information is here where you're going to have an edge on all the other traders, because you can tell, because this has been triangulated through, thousands of lines of code, but this has been triangulated really, really quickly to tell you there's an opportunity. Momentum, really straightforward. XShift 60, I think, is the most useful one. All I do is I filter on price. Now, sometimes you'll notice this tool is unavailable, and that's just because of the state of the market. It's nothing to do with this tool. It's nothing to do with the API. It's to do with the actual data providers. So sometimes you will see this disappear. It's just the state of the market, guys. The tool works absolutely fine. But I'm going to filter here on price change. And this is showing me that this coin here, JNT, has jumped up 15.18%, within the last hour, and volume has gone down. So this is just an indicator as to what coins you want to go and look at. Now, by the way, with all of these tools, there's a flag option. And when you use the flag option, it basically takes you to the contact form. And this is where you can actually say, hey, there's an issue with an opportunity you're showing somewhere. So if you're in arbitrage and you see a coin that's not transferable, you can flag it. That'll send an email to me, and we can actually remove that coin from the algorithm if we see that it's actually not transferable or there's a problem. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. So really cool stuff over here. You've got the momentum here, which we've looked at. That's literally saying how many coins have gone up in the last hour, over 7.5%. How many coins have gone down in the last hour of over 7.5%. And yesterday when the market was booming, this number was really high and this number was like 3 or whatever. It was really low. So this is just this will tell you instantly what is the state of the market right now. Right now over the last hour, what is the state of the market? Is it flat? Is it not really doing much? But if you see this number getting huge, then you know there's action. You can go and do some trading. So I think this video is long enough. I hope that you've got a lot of value from this. I really wanted to go step by step. We've covered absolutely everything I can think of. We've done a live trade, but as always, you can always get in touch. There's a contact page down here, or even up here, you can just go to contact. So if you have any questions, just shoot them across. Absolutely loving this journey with you guys, and welcome to the platform.